Okay, welcome to this tutorial on the traffic light top SOLIDWORKS 3D model. We are going to start with the creation of the part and where to save it. We're not going to save it actually until we actually have something made. But to start with, we're going to go up here to this area right here. And this is where we're going to create a new part, assembly, or drawing. So when we click it, it wants to know if we want to do a part, assembly, or drawing. We want to do a part. Say OK. And after it loads, we will see the environment that is presented to us for the part creation. And over in this area here, you will see the property manager. So as we add things to the project, they will be added on down here, appended to this list here. So the first thing we want to do is understand that we are going to be starting with a feature up here, such as an extrusion. These other things like an extruded cut, a lot of these things are grayed out because there's nothing to cut a hole in yet. So we are going to start all these processes by being in the features, not the sketch tab. If you create a sketch, you will only end up with a 2-day sketch. Now, SOLIDWORKS knows that when you want to make an extrusion, a boss or a base, it knows that you want to go through a sketching, dimensioning, and extrusion process. It will do this for you, but you have to start out by starting the process, clicking here, and telling SOLIDWORKS that you want to extrude something. Okay, so we click on the extruded. Then, if the nothing is created first, it wants to know where do you want to do it. If you look at an object in reality, most of the time you're going to look at it from the front plane. You're not going to be looking down at it from the sky or to the right. So we are going to select the front plane, and now you notice that SOLIDWORKS has moved to the sketch tab, and you are now in the sketching ability. So we are going to use this right here, an extruded rectangle. You see these little drop down areas here, that allows you to select different types of rectangles or lines or whatever. So when I click on this drop down, I see I have these 5 rectangles to choose from. We want to use the centered rectangle. So you select the center rectangle. Then you're going to go over here in the area and you're going to see this origin. Now I'm going to put my cursor right here at the origin. You will see it in orange. I'm going to click there and then release, and then I'm going to drag my mouse out as part of my sketch. So with the center rectangle here, I click, and now I'm sketching. I'm not dimensioning. I can do whatever I want. A rectangle, so this looks like a rectangle. So then I am going to click right here, and it's going to give me this rectangle. Now the next part I want to dimension. We do that by clicking on the Smart Dimension here. So I click on that, and then it says, what do you want to dimension? You don't worry about all these green boxes. We're going to pick an edge, either this one or that one. When you hover the cursor over an edge, it turns color. And then you're going to click and drag over to the right. Then you're going to click again, and this box comes up. I want this to be 5 inches tall. So I type 5, I go down to units, and I select inches. So I type 5, I then put my cursor over units and select inches. and then I click the green check mark, and then it changes the side for me. I will then do the same thing on this side. And now this I want to be 2.5 inches. Units, inches. So you can see I have 2.5 inches here before I check the green check mark. And now I have a 2.5 by 5 inch square. So now I'm going to click on this. Basically, whenever you see check marks, you want to check them. And then that's going to close out my smart dimension. Now I need to exit the sketch right up here. So I am going to click Exit Sketch. At which point it knows that you're ready to complete your extrusion, and it wants to know how far. So I am going to put in 2.5 inches. Right here. And then I will check the check mark. If you hit enter, you can preview your what's going to happen, and then a check mark confirms it. I see this blue thing back there. If I click off, I now have my base part extruded for my traffic light top. Now what I'm going to do is in the File, Save As button area, File, Save As, I am going to give this project a name and a location. I am going to go to my C drive and to my SolidWorks. This is SolidWorks Dave for me. Yours would be SolidWorks _ number. I'm actually going to put this under my SolidWorks tutorial spot. After I have the place I'm going to do it, right down here for the name. So I navigate to where I want to put it, and then I'm going to give it a name. The name that I'm going to put there is, oops, File, Save As. I want it to be Traffic Light Top. Right here. Then I'm going to click Save. You will notice up here that this is now showing the current name of your project. When you have an asterisk show up here, that means you've made changes and you need to save. Now from this point on, when you save changes, you're not going to go File, Save As. You're going to use this floppy disk icon here to save your file, which updates your file with other additional information. You're not creating a new file. So this is where we're going to leave off this one that talks about creating the part and then starting with an extrusion, sketching, dimensioning, exiting smart dimension exit sketch, and completing the extrusion, and then doing a File, Save As. And this is where we're going to leave off. In the next one, we will pick off here to start our lights features.